Okay, here we go.
Right.
Hey, Dion.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Couldn't be
Good.
better. Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better.
Life is perfect right now. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's really,
change a
really good.
thing. Yep.
Oh man. Um, so we're here today to talk about your album, which is super exciting. A few weeks ago, we had our 2021 Artist in Residence, Producer in Residence series, and we had a really fantastic panel that was called Faculty Spotlighter, no, Faculty Spotlight, Band Leader. And we had you and me. We had Colleen Allen, Jocelyn Gould, and Amanda Tosoff. And that was a really fantastic conversation. And I think the first of its kind for Humber, to have an all women faculty panel, um, and all band leaders spotlight. So that was a fantastic panel. And then just at the moment that you were talking about really important stuff, we had total technology failure.
Yeah. It's kind of funny, actually.
Well, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was and it wasn't.
Yeah. So here we are, faculty spotlight 2.0. You and me.
The reboot.
But it gives, yeah, reboot. I like that. But it gives us a chance to chat about the new album, Spirits in the Water, and it gives us a chance to hear more tunes. And you get to tell us about all sorts of things related to the album. And before we get into it, you're already getting such great reviews. It's such a powerful record. The songs hit really hard, and it's being recognized all over the place. You already won Blues and Roots Radio Worldwide Album of the Year, and you're nominated in this year's Junos for Blues Album of the Year.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling really happy, proud, extremely satisfied because it really was a labor of love. And I put a lot of thought and heart and work into it. And so having it being recognized right now globally is a really great feeling.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's a remarkable album.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've listened to it a bunch of times now and really, really enjoying that.
Oh, great.
You made this pre-COVID and it seems faded.
I know it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, we literally just finished mastering the album in February of 2020. And our goal was to put it out in March. And then, of course, we know what happened with COVID, and we just kind of were like deer in headlights. What do we do? What's happening with the industry? And we basically had to sit for a few months and just kind of wait it out and put the feelers out there. And at first I thought, okay, maybe I should just sit on this for a while. And then as you know, there were a lot of things happening politically in the world, specifically with Black Lives Matter and all that injustices that were happening. We realized that it was important to put the album out. And so actually the first single that we put out was How Many Times, and we put that out in June. And it really resonated with a lot of people because it's a heavy song. The lyrics are, how many times do I have to pray until I get what I want? And it sounds simple, but yet we can't seem to get there, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That is how it seems. And that's not even on our playlist right now.
And that's not even on the playlist. So You can go check that out.
Yeah, you'll have to do that on Bandcamp. Buy Dion's music on Bandcamp.
Yes.
And pay double, triple.
Pay triple, please.
Pay quadruple, please. Who was on your team for this record?
Oh, so I worked with a beautiful soul named Joel Schwartz. And he actually was playing with me in my band, the Backsliders, on my previous album, the Backsliders.
I love those
guys. So we had met. We actually went to Humber years ago, and then we kind of reconnected through, as I said, the previous album. And we just sort of vibed together and started writing and just talking and hanging out. And that kind of really led to this relationship and this collaboration on Spirits in the Water.
Awesome. This album has been described as prairie blues. What does that mean? How'd you develop that sound?
Oh, well, I love talking about this because the prairie blues is a term that I coined to describe my music. And I just like to give a little background, like when you talk about the blues, and I can only speak in my experience, but when I hear of the blues, I think of, kind of old, definitely Black music. And it is old and Black music, but I wanted to write music that is representative of my culture and my background. So specifically being a daughter of a pastor, so a PK, who's Black and female, growing up in Regina, Saskatchewan, in a Christian household. So, I mean, how many people have had that experience? Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. So that's why it's so important for me to write in my prairie blues style. And the prairie blues is really just a mixture of folk music, the blues, and Americana.
I love it. Let's play Down the Bloodline.
Yeah.
The law, no more separation, independence for all. But then her master schemed against it all, running and running and running down the line. She left her family and her happy home, just a sojourner, always wandering alone, always found refuge and a tribe of her own, running and running down the line, running and running and running down the line. For freedom, just passing through. Ain't I a woman? She challenged
Great track.
Thank you.
I love that there's so much space. There's a sense of place there too. I mean, what is your? I mean, you're from Saskatchewan, right?
Yeah, I'm from Regina, Saskatchewan.
How does place inform this song and your writing?
So where I belong, or what?
I mean, are you thinking about Saskatchewan or home or that sort of thing?
Well, specifically with this song, it was more about the historical side of Black people, African Americans, African Canadians, and that experience and where I fit in all of that. And, you know, like talking about down the bloodline, all of these stories are passed on through generations, through our blood, through music, through the air, through water, all of these elements, right? So that really was more the headspace that I was coming at with Down the Bloodline.
Water. Let's go there.
Yeah.
There's a really interesting story about this album as a concept. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. So there's a legend that comes from the Yushi tribe, and they speak about the legend of the Tanasi, or the Singing River. And they talk about a woman who lives within the waterways, and she sings songs to protect those who hear her. And I thought, what an incredible image for a concept of an album. So really that's where this song comes from. And talking about, again, as I was saying before, about how history is passed on and music is found in the air, it's found in the water. And that's where this tune comes from.
Let's hear Water.
Something in the water. Can you hear it in the water? crazy rhythm. She creeps in with a shallow cold whisper, telling tales from beyond the sea, from the lost, you and me. There is something in the water. Can you hear it in the water? Something's in the water, in the water, in the water, in the water.
I love that story of you know, a woman protecting a woman that teaches you something if you're there to listen.
Yes, I love that too. If you sit still and be quiet and listen, you're going to hear some beautiful stories from this woman.
Yeah, that resonates. Yeah. Oh wow. And that's interesting. I mean, we both come from church communities. I think that rural place also is something that you and I share.
Mhm.
And I mean, you mentioned a little bit about how church figured in your work in that community where you grew up, and how does that play in sounds and soundscapes for this album?
That's a really great question. Growing up in Regina, you know, it's a very small community with where my parents are. They have a church there that's very multicultural, multi-generational, and they've always instilled that sense of community and inclusivity. And so I wanted to kind of figure out a way to write the music that I heard growing up in church, but make it modern and accessible to people who are not used to the church experience. And so when I talk about the church experience, musically speaking, I mean like the backbeat of the drums, specifically in my music, the tambourine. Like, you will not see me on stage without my tambourine. And my guys call it the secret weapon, and a secret deadly weapon, because when I play my tambourine, I'm playing the tambourine. I'm not just doing this. I'm like, I'm all over, because that's the sound. And that's the sound that was in my church. Like, everyone played tambourine, everyone claps, everyone sings. And so I really wanted to capture that spirit on this album, Spirits in the Water, specifically with this tune, Workin', that you're going to hear next. But you're going to hear, you know, like the backbeat, as I said, that's integral in the blues, specifically with this type of prairie blues sound.
Workin', let's have it.
Yeah, let's.
Weary, traveling these cold and lonely trails, losing time, not spending time with the ones that I love. I gotta work twice as hard to stay alive. You know, you got me working all night long. You got me working all night long, yeah. Cooking, cleaning, always dancing for the man. Save your tips for moving up, 'cause I'm doing the best I can.
That was your church service.
Yeah, Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. And Friday night and Wednesday.
And Friday night. That's
and
right.
Tuesday and Thursdays every other week.
Yeah. I know. And you just bring it back. I know. You just bring it back. Yes.
Yeah, I love that track because I really feel like we captured the essence of what I love about church music. And what I also love about this song, lyrically speaking, this song really is about how hard we as Black people have to work and how the playing field is not even. And knowing this, we still manage to survive and thrive and inspire. And so that's really what working is about. It's about working hard. It's about hustling, as you heard. It's about being true to yourself. And that's really what working is about.
Yeah.
Gotta pay those bills, baby.
You gotta pay the bills. Yeah. You know, there's also that kind of duality of if the tune feels really good, but the message is right there for you. Things are not equal. I mean, you feel it and the tune feels good, but you know, like let's get equality happening right now. Let's bring that pay gap to nothing. There's some messages that are right there for you.
Exactly.
You don't even have to work to find them. You've laid it right out.
It's really funny because, you know, like when I get reviews from people around the world, like it's very funny how one person will say, "Oh, your lyrics are so simple. I love that the message is very clear." And then I'll get, "Well, your lyrics are too simple and the message is too clear." I'm like, "Well, yeah, that totally
yes, they
are." You know, like you don't have to use giant words to understand the meaning of the song.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what it is, right?
Yeah. And talking about, you know, just to throw in a little bit of Black history, but, you know, talking about the Pullman porters in the early 20th century. And these were ex-slaves who were hired to work on the trains and to help service the white passengers. And these men, usually men, sometimes women, but they would, you know, shine shoes, they would pick up the luggage, they would do all this work. And what really sucked was that whoever was in charge, Mr. Pullman, did not disclose any of their names. And so these workers, these ex-slaves, were all just called George.
Come on.
Yes. So, you know, talking about inequality and injustices, you know, this song has a lot of deep meaning and meaningful messages. And just historically speaking, there's a lot of things that haven't changed since then. A lot of people are still doing menial jobs and not being paid properly and not being taken care of. So I hope that we can do better. And I hope that, you know, with more people telling their stories and sharing their experiences, that people will be open to hearing and listening and hopefully moving forward to make change.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're making a difference. You're making change, and you're doing it in our Humber community too. And that feels really good.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
It feels really great to give back. Yeah. You know, Humber has given so much to me and continues to give. And I'm so happy to be able to give back, especially to students on a one-on-one basis. It's a really special place to be, especially right now.
Yeah, now's an important time, I think, to have those positions, to have the conversations and to facilitate that so that change does happen in the communities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your concept album is about the road to self-realization, healing, self-actualization. How did that come into play for you for this album?
Yes. So I had written an album previous to this called Born Free. And the whole idea around that, I'm sure you know about the concept of being born again. That is a big, huge factor in Christianity, especially Pentecostal Christianity. And so having that foundation in me, it kind of felt like I was being reborn. And it's not that I wanted to take away from my Christian roots or any of that, but I wanted to progress and see where life would take me next. And so now when we talk about spirits in the water, we're talking about how do we see ourselves in the world culturally? How do I see myself in the world musically? There's a lot of boxes that I don't fit in. And so Spirits in the Water is kind of like creating my own little box and saying, hey guys, why don't you come in this box with me? We can hang out and we can fight the power together over here.
Yeah. I like
you know
it.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it really is just the journey back to the self-healing, learning to forgive myself for not being the image that my family wanted me to be, being okay with
Dione.
Yes. I mean, it's not like it's never, the work is never done. Like it's a constant thing, but I can honestly speak my truth. I can speak my truth in front of my family, which I've done, which I never thought I'd be able to do. And it feels so liberating. And I hope that I can inspire other artists to do the same, to be yourself. It's okay to not fit in, and it's okay to speak your truth.
Yeah. That's it. That is what it is.
That is what it is. That is what it is. And
okay,
you know what? I'll just
tell
say
me.
one thing. There's a book that's called Women Who Run with Wolves. Have you heard of this book?
No.
So I encourage you to check this book out. It is, I think you would really enjoy it, and you out there listeners as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was also a huge inspiration into writing this song Darkness.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Give in to the darkness, let it heal your soul. 'Cause the light won't come through until you lose control. You tripped and you're falling, the heel overhead. Down, 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 far below what you read. Down, 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 far below. Embrace the negredo, stop reaching for an edge. Let the spirit guide you, let it take you to bed. Sing yourself safely into the afterlife. Enjoy the madness, say goodnight. Defend the shift that's happening to you. Accept the desire and true. Tripped and you falling, heel overhead. Down, 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 followed you red. Down, 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 follow what you read, what you read, what you read, what you read, what you read.
That's what it is.
Down, down, down.
Down, down, down.
Far below what you've read. That's pretty down. That's pretty low.
It's pretty. It's what it is. That's the message.
Yes. Yes.
Well, we could talk about that for a long time, but not today.
Not today. Yes.
It's been so good to get a couple of minutes in with you today.
Yeah.
Great to listen to the album with you, hear the stories and your process.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time, and thank you, Hannah, for making this happen and for facilitating this. It's really awesome.
A pleasure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
it's
you.
a pleasure. Well, we've got all the digits crossed for more awards and more accolades in your future, because this is a wonderful album.
Thank you.
And,
I appreciate it.
Now we all get to grading with the end of the school year.
Totally right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. And with that, here we are. And we'll talk again soon.
All right. Thanks. Thanks, Ryan.
Bye-bye.
Bye.